Good day everyone, my name is Jessavell Tolentino and my partner is Doris Saron from Vised English 3B. So our topic is all about statistical treatment of data, Likert scale. Our objectives to define and analyze what Likert scale is and to discuss how to use Likert scale. What is Likert scale? Likert scale is commonly used to measure attitudes, knowledge, perception, values, and behavioral changes. A Likert type scale involves a series of statements that respondents may choose from in order to rate their responses to evaluate questions. In 1999, various kinds of rating scales have been developed to measure attitudes directly. Example, the person knows their attitude is being studied. The most widely used is the Likert scale. So this is the example of Likert scale. I believe that ecological questions are the most issues facing human beings today. A Likert scale assumes that the strength intensity of an attitude is linear. Example, on a continuum from a strongly agree to strongly agree, and makes the assumption that attitudes can be measured. For example, each of the 5 or 7 responses would have a numerical value which would be used to measure the attitude under investigation. In addition to measuring statements of agreement, Likert scales can measure other variation such as frequency, quality, importance, and livelihood, etc. So this is Likert scale examples for surveys. Agreement, frequency, importance, quality, livelihood, likelihood. Strongly agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly disagree. So how can you analyze data from a Likert scale? So the response categories in Likert scales have a rank order, but the intervals between values cannot be presumed equal. So therefore, the mean and standard deviation are inappropriate for ordinal data, Jamieson 2004. Statistics you can use are: first, summarize using a median or a mode, not a mean as it is ordinal scale data. The mode is probably the most suitable for easy interpretation. Second, display the distribution of observations in a bar chart. It can't be a histogram because the data is not continuous. So for the continuation of our report, please listen to Miss Doris Saron.
Critical evaluation. Paulus 1984 found that more desirable personality characteristics were reported when people were asked to write their names, addresses, and telephone numbers on their questionnaire than when they told not to put identifying information on the questionnaire. Strengths. Likert scales have the advantage that they do not expect a simple yes or no answer from the respondent, but rather allow for degrees or opinion, even no opinion at all. Therefore, quantitative data is obtained, which means that the data can be analyzed with relative ease. Offering anonymity on self-administered questionnaires should further reduce social pressure, and thus may likewise reduce social desirability bias. Limitations. However, like all surveys, the validity of the Likert scales attitude measurement can be compromised due to social desirability. This means that individuals may like to put themselves in a positive light. For example, if a Likert scale was measuring discrimination, who would admit to being racist? Types of Likert scales. The Likert scale has become a favorite among researchers to collect opinions about customer satisfaction or employee experience. You can divide the scale primarily into two major types: the the even Likert scale, and the odd Likert scale. Even Likert scale. Researchers use even Likert scales to collect extreme feedback without providing a neutral option. 4-point Likert scale for importance. This type of Likert scale allows researchers to include their extreme options without a neutral choice. Here, the various degrees of importance are represented in a 4-point Likert scale. 8-point likelihood or recommendation. This is a variation of the previously explained 4-point Likert scale. The only difference being this Likert scale has 8 options to collect feedback about the likelihood of a recommendation. The odd Likert scale. Researchers use the odd Likert scale to give the respondents the choice of responding neutrally. 5-point Likert scale. With 5 answer options, researchers use this odd Likert scale question to gather information about a topic by including a neutral answer option for respondents to select if they don't wish to answer from the extreme choices in their research design. 7-point Likert scale. The 7-point Likert scale adds two more answer options at extreme ends of a 5-point Likert scale question. 9-point Likert scale. A 9-point Likert scale is quite uncommon, but you can use it by adding two more answer options to the 7-point Likert scale question. What are the characteristics of Likert scale? The characteristics of Likert scale are number of answer questions, number of answer options. It is essential to mention that although the most common Likert scale is that of 5 items, that use of more items help to generate greater precision in the result, increasing reliability of the scale. Researchers often increase the ends of the scale to create a 7-point scale by adding vary to the top and bottom of the 5-point scales. The 7-point scales reaches the upper limits of the reliability of the scale. Using wide scales. As a general rule, Likert and other recommend that it is the better to use a scale as wide as possible. One can always collapse the answer into concise group if appropriate for analysis. Lack of neutral option. By considering these details, scales are sometimes curtailed to an even number of categories, usually four, to eliminate the neutral possibility of a forced choice survey scale. Intrinsic variable. The primary record clearly states that there could be an inherent variables whose value marks the feedback or attitudes of the respondents, and this underlying variable is the interval level at best. Likert scale data and analysis. Researchers and auditors generally group collected data into a hierarchy of four fundamental measurement levels: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio measurements levels for further analysis. Nominal data. Data in which the answers classified into variables need not necessarily have quantitative data or order in called nominal data. Ordinal data. Data in which it is possible to sort all or classify the answers, but it is impossible to measure the distance is called ordinal data. Interval data. Aggregate data in which measurement of orders and distances can be made is called interval data. Ratio data. Ratio data is similar to interval data. The only difference is an equal and definitive ratio between each data and absolute zero being treated as a point of origin. Data analysis using nominal, interval, and ratio data are generally transparent and straightforward. Ordinal data analysis data, particularly in regards to Likert or other scales in the surveys. This is not a new problem. The effectiveness of handling ordinal data as interval data continues to be debatable in survey analysis of various applied fields. Some of the significant points to keep in mind are statistical tests. Researchers sometimes treat ordinal data as interval data because they claim the parametric statistical tests are more powerful than non-parametric alternatives. Moreover, inference from parametric tests are easy to interpret and provide more information than non-parametric options. Concentration on Likert scales. However, the treatment of ordinal data as interval data without examining the values of the data set and analysis objective can mislead and mispresent the results of a survey. To analyze scalar data more appropriately, researchers prefer to consider ordinal data as interval data and concentrates on Likert scales. Median or range for inspecting data. A universal guideline suggests that the mean and the standard deviation are baseless parameters for data statistics when the data are on ordinal scales, just like any parametric analysis based on normal distribution. The non-parametric test is done based on the appropriate median or range for inspecting data. Advantages of Likert scale. There are many advantages of using a Likert scale in a survey for market research. They are ease of implementation. This universally accepted scale can be easily understood and applied to various customer satisfaction or employee satisfaction surveys. Quantifiable answer options. Quantify Likert items with no apparent relation to the expression and conduct a statistical analysis on the received result. Analyze the rank of options. There may be a sample with varied views about a particular topic. The Likert scale offers a ranking of the views of these people surveyed. Simple to respond. Respondents can understand the intent of this scale and quickly answer the question. These are the references. That's all. Thank you.